Good evening, everybody. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here, patting your back. Personal fitness. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. Happy last day of November. Hard leave tomorrow, December 1st already. Tonight we're going to kind of continue our series, our kind of talks we've been going through to prep us for 2023. We talked about goal setting. We talked about theme words. We've touched on vision boards, which we're going to have again a little more of an in-depth chat with our pal Blake Miles coming out very soon. Again, we're still trying to figure out some details for that, but hopefully that'll happen very soon. We talked last week about managing expectations. Facebook, sorry, for some reason, my computer doesn't like the blurry background anymore and really lags. So sorry about the quality and cutting that short, but it just wasn't really working last week. So we decided to manage our expectations and shut that one down. But what we'll do is maybe re-record something and re-air it at a later date or add it to the collection so everybody has it. And again, the platforms have changed. So other platforms I could download from, I can't now. So I couldn't even share another recording for you. So apologies for those of you on Facebook. But hopefully you're back this week. We're back. We're ready to go. We've taken up the background blurriness a little bit, and we'll get things going. So tonight, what we want to talk about, speaking of things not really working last week and trying to think of a different approach, contingency plans. We want to talk about a contingency plan tonight. We've talked about setting goals, making a plan, taking small steps towards our big goals. What can we do every day to get a little bit better? And we've talked about how things are going to come up. It's not a matter of if, but when are things going to come up that you're going to have to deal with, adjust to, modify your life potentially, or maybe your approach towards your goals might have to be modified. And what we want to do, like we talked about, is have your plans and systems in place. We don't just want one plan, a plan A. We want a plan B, maybe even a plan C or D, depending on again, kind of your life and how things go and what things maybe come up for you. And the more we can have a contingency plan, a backup plan, if you'd like to call it that way, again, we can be better prepared for life's unexpected surprises. If we have a bit of a plan for those that we expect, those challenging times, then we're better able to handle the unexpected that come up. So again, as you work through this, whether it's in your journals, on your computer, hopefully you're putting it somewhere so you can revisit these every week. But as you're working on your goal, as you're working on your theme word, if that's something you're working on, I know Natty last week mentioned she was working on her vision board in between shows. If you're working on that and gearing up for 2023, again, last month, tomorrow is December 1st, as we're recording this, as we're broadcasting. So we want to have that good foundation set so we can put things in motion. We can try things, see how they work, see if we need to modify our plans, if we need to tweak our approach a little bit to make sure that we're on the right path, that we're doing what needs to be done for us. So even if you're not working towards your goals right now, if that doesn't happen until January 1st, that's okay. If we put in this legwork now and have those systems and processes and contingency plans in place, then again, when January 1 gets here, we can hit the ground running. Hopefully, because we started this back in October, the idea being we can have a good chunk of the groundwork done so that we're already working towards our goal as we roll into January 1st. We already have that momentum. But if not, that's okay. You're still building momentum by doing all this planning and preparation and getting things where you need them to be. So again, don't think of it as by January 1st, everything has to be solved. Again, a New Year's resolution, how we started this, is New Year's. It's not a January 1st resolution. You have the whole year to go through that. I know some people who set resolutions or goals on their birthday every year instead of January 1, and they share on social media. Here's how I did on the 3 things I said last year I was going to try to do better at. Here's what I'm going to do this year. So again, there's different approaches. Typically, like we've said before, I find, and other coaches you talk with will find, resolutions are kind of a trendy thing to do at the time. Everyone's doing it, so I'll jump in too. and there's no plan, there's no process. So by February 1st, for a lot of people, maybe even into March, they fall off. They stop progressing, they give up altogether because they've hit some struggles, they've hit hardship, they've hit a difficult kind of bump in the road, and they didn't have a plan for that. And then they kind of let things go. And then the self-talk starts, and well, there I go again, not completing something. And then you dig yourself into a bit of a hole. So when the next opportunity comes, you're not so quick to take advantage of that or jump on board, because you think, oh, well, the last one didn't work, so this one probably won't either. So what's the point? Where now we're putting in that legwork by adding these steps in so that we can handle those bumps in the road. We can have some momentum already when everyone else is starting and trying to plan, or probably go without a plan January 1st. We'll at least have a plan in place, hopefully tried a few things to see what works, and then continue moving forward, or have already started the actual journey toward our New Year's goal before then. And again, just keep continuing the momentum. So with a contingency plan, I should pick a different word, that's tricky for me to say. A contingency plan, we want to think ahead as much as we can to what's going to go on throughout our year. So I've given the example before. I have clients who are teachers, and I try to get them to either whatever works for them, a big wall calendar or their agenda, or again, just pen and paper, your phone, your device, whatever works for you, but plan out your year. I've done the same thing with college students who I've trained and university students who I've trained. You know, in theory, what your year is going to look like. You're given your year when you start. Here's the first day of class. Here's the last day of class. Here's midterms. Here's your assignments. Here's your projects. Here's when maybe your term break is. So you can see that with teachers, same thing. Here's when school starts. Here's when Christmas holidays begin. Here's when report cards are due. Here's when parent-teacher meetings are. Here's when this event is that you have to chaperone or take some control of or do some planning for. And we're all kind of like that. We all kind of have a rough idea, at least, of what's going on and what's happening to us and around us. And different times of the year create different demands. Sometimes we have a little less on our plate. Sometimes we have a little more. Sometimes we have a lot more. Unfortunately, when we have a lot more, the first thing to go typically is ourselves, our goals, our fitness, our health, anything we're trying to work towards gets put to the back burner so we can work on all the things that are out there for us. And a lot of it is from other people or jobs, things like that. But we don't want that. We want to keep working on our goals and on ourselves. And again, as we said, the better we take care of ourselves, the better we'll be able to take care and help those around us. So we always want to make ourselves top priority. So what you want to think of is look ahead to, even if it's 3 months ahead, look at 6 months, look at the full year. Okay, whatever is going to work for you. If this is really new to you, maybe you break it into smaller chunks. I tend to have a difficult time looking too far down the road. I'm more of an in-the-moment kind of person. So it's something I've been trying to work on. Working at the store helps because we're seasonal. So we're 2 or 3 months ahead typically of seasons. So I had Christmas stuff out the week after Thanksgiving to set up for a tour we had to do for other stores. But typically we're 2 or 3 months ahead of seasons, maybe a month or two, depending on the season it is, but we're always ahead. So I'm trying to take that experience and transfer it to this, so that when I want to launch a program, when I want to start my outdoor classes at the beach or personal training, then I get that out in time and have things ready. So we're ready to start by a certain date. So if you're new to that, and maybe that's something that you have trouble with, maybe break it into small chunks and then set up a time to revisit it. So maybe do it just the first month. Maybe look at January and just have that. Okay, let's look at January. I know this happens in January and this happens and this goes on. I need to do this thing for work. I need to travel. Put that all down and then work through that. Make your contingency plans based on that. But then within that month of January, book a time, maybe a week or 2 weeks out, maybe even mid-month, to look into February. Same thing into March, into April. And then as you get used to it, maybe then you can progress to 2 or 3 months ahead. where you can look a few weeks, a few months ahead, and again, make those same preparations that you need to. What we want to think of are, again, what works for us. So our When Life Works list, we've talked about that before, WLW, When Life Works. Also, when life wasn't working, thinking of some of those examples too. Again, not to dwell on it, not to put ourselves down, but to learn from, so that we can know, okay, you know what, last year when it was mid-semester, I was really busy with projects and assignments and group work and midterms. My fitness really slacked. I didn't get to the gym at all. When really that's when I should be going to get the stress relief and the mental awareness and all those benefits of exercise. Okay, what can I do this year to make sure that doesn't happen? So think of it again as a learning tool, not necessarily something that you beat yourself up over, that, oh, I didn't do it, that didn't work for me. And then look at the opposite. When life was working, what am I doing? How am I behaving? Am I more organized? Am I using my journal and my agenda more often? Maybe than when I'm too busy. Am I getting to the gym? Am I getting my workouts in? Am I eating well? How are my stress levels? Again, look at all these things and then formulate a plan through that. So if you have your calendar out for a month, 3 months, 6 months, again, whatever kind of time frame you think works best for you, and look through your agenda, look through your calendar, write in those work trips that you have, the school assignments that you have, the family commitments, the extracurricular activities that your kids have or family members have. Write those things in, because those are your family time. Those are things that really you can't typically control. The idea being with our overall agenda typically is booking your time first and then work around everything else. But some things you can't help. Your job, you probably have set hours. Your work commitments typically, again, are directed to you, unless you're an entrepreneur. And even then, they're still kind of directed from customers or demands. So some things we can't always control. So in this exercise, I like to put everything else in first that I know, and then look at those kind of times. Look for lulls in kind of the amount I have on my plate. When's it light? When is there not a ton I have to do? Is there a downtime? Usually things will be cyclical, where we're really busy, then we're not so busy. We're really busy, not so busy. Let's take advantage of the not so busy times to really bunker down and focus on your goal, whatever it is. I'll typically focus on fitness and wellness because that's my realm. That's what I coach. But again, it could be learning a language, learning a skill for work, whatever the case may be. Think about what it is you're doing and really take advantage of those downtimes. So if there's less going on, then maybe that's where your workouts are. Maybe multiple times a week, maybe 5 days a week, you can get to the gym and do that kind of specific split that you want to do, or that routine. Maybe you can get an hour every day of those days. Maybe you can spend time at the library researching for that, again, that skill you want to learn, or that project, or that skill you want to develop. Maybe you can take the time to attend meetings or support groups, or any kind of like BNI kind of business groups, something like that, where you can learn and gather more skill and information. Maybe you have more time to do that. Maybe it's worth the investment because you can actually be there. So if there's fees involved to join or to attend certain things, webinars, again, meetings, things like that, symposiums, conferences, maybe those are the good times to do that, because you have more of a time and you can put yourself into it and focus on it and get the most return from that. And then on the flip side, look at when those busier times are. Are you away for work? Are you away with your kids at a tournament? Are you just busy with work itself? Do you have family coming over for the holidays type of thing? That's going to take up some time, maybe even in prepping for them to arrive with the house, and after they leave, cleaning up and getting things back to normal. Christmas time is a great example, just trying to find somewhere to put the tree and move the furniture and put some things away for the winter and have the tree up and have Christmas. And then when the tree comes down, putting things back the way they were, or maybe starting fresh and rearranging your furniture and your things again with that. So you can see just that example that's going to come up in a few weeks. There are times like that throughout the year. So look at the lighter times, look at the heavier times, and plan accordingly. we've said before, your agenda, your schedule, your plan should be pretty detailed and pretty consistent, but it doesn't have to be carved in stone. So if we know there's a lull, then again, we can maybe have more time at the gym or have more time taking webinars, like we said earlier. When things are narrow, your time wise, because you're in more of demand, then maybe we need to modify things. Maybe we need to drop to 3 days a week versus 5 with our workouts. Maybe we need to shorten our time to half an hour versus an hour. But then we can up the intensity to still get the benefit of the workout. Maybe we need to find online, like we said, webinars and lectures and videos and books on demand or Audible, like audiobooks, things like that, versus going to the library and researching, where again we can make use of our time. Maybe we're commuting, we're in the car, we can go through and work on that stuff as we need to. Sorry, guys. Everything is, whoops. Awesome. Sorry, guys. Got a call coming. Everything's connected and kind of cutting in and out from that. So we want to make sure that we're, again, maybe making use of the time where we can get ourselves into that state where we don't have to worry about busy times coming in. We can work through them, kind of work around them almost, to make sure that we're in that mindset where we need to be and keeping ourselves controlled and working forward and going through. So that again, when things come up, we have a plan in place. And if we have a plan in place for the expected, when the unexpected comes up, we can just take those plans and apply them to that, so that we're not trying to scramble and react to something. We can be proactive. Even if we don't don't predict that it's coming, it's unexpected. Okay, we still have something here in place for unexpected problems, delays, so we can transfer that over. Like we talked about before, once you have a system, you just plug in the details of what it is you're doing now. The system should relatively stay the same and repeat itself. It's just what you plug into it for goals or outcomes that changes. This is no different. Once you have a plan in place, or a contingency plan in place, you just apply that contingency plan to the situation, whatever that happens to be. And then that keeps you on track. That keeps you moving forward. That keeps you progressing towards your goal. That helps you build confidence. That helps you feel good. That helps you keep moving. So you keep progressing toward the goal and have success. So that again, you know, when something like unexpected comes up, oh, I handled something a few months ago working toward that goal back in 2023, back in January. I know I can handle this stressor now because I handled that. I have the experience and I have the contingency plan that I need. I just modify it for this specific situation. So again, it's a little, sorry, IG, it's a little laggy here from the call. Hopefully it's not for you. If we'll clean it up if so. But again, it's all about doing kind of the work up front, where we want to get those things planned, get things prepared, get things as ready as we can, so that we're ready for the unexpected, whatever that happens to be. We can be prepared for it. We can move forward with it. And then again, we take that experience on to the next event. Hopefully by going through some of these planned events, these expected roadblocks, these expected struggles that are going to come up in our life, again, that better prepares us for the unexpected that come up. And even if the unexpected comes first, because you have the plan, that'll help us work through that. So contingency plan, make it part of your planning now as we're looking ahead into 2023. So you have your goal, your theme word, you're managing your expectations, you have realistic expectations of yourself and your goals. Add in those contingency plans. If you manage your expectations, you'll know, say mid-March, that work is really heavy for me. That's almost the end of the fiscal year. I know there's going to be lots of overtime and extra things to do. It's going to be tricky for me to get to the gym 5 days a week. Okay, what do we do? Okay, talk with your coach and trainer. Okay, let's change maybe the formats of the workout, how often you're working out, We can modify things to work around it. Maybe we go from a lot of gym time to maybe some home workouts, maybe some online workouts, where you can, again, make it work for you. Maybe you can manage your time to get that workout in there so you're not struggling or scrambling. I don't have an hour to get to the gym. Well, do you have 20 minutes? Do you have 30 minutes? Do you have 10 minutes here and 10 minutes here? Okay, well, maybe we can do a little stretch. Maybe we can do a nice walk around the block. So maybe it's not exercise, but it's physical activity. And a very important key is it's keeping you on track. And if you modify your plan, chances are you'll stick with it more and feel better about it in advance than if you react to the situation. So if you know there's a busy time coming, hey, Bonnie, welcome in. Good to see you. If you know there's a busy time coming and you plan to, say, with your fitness, modify your workouts, maybe increase your physical activity, if your mind and body knows this is the plan going in, then again, we don't beat ourselves up so much for it. Of, oh, I'm not getting my workout in, or I got to skip tonight because I got to have a meeting, I have to do this sort of stuff. If we have that plan in advance, you're sticking to your plan. We've just modified the plan. And then again, that creates self-confidence, that creates competence, that creates self-esteem, where you can give yourself that good pat on your back because you're staying consistent to your plan. We've just modified the plan for our current situation. So again, it's not so stressful. It's not so overwhelming as it is for a lot of people when things get busy. Like we said earlier, ourselves is usually the first thing to go. Our workouts, our personal development, our goals usually go out the window so we can answer everyone else's demands and needs of us. And what we want to do is at least modify what we have to do, what we're doing, so we can keep taking care of ourselves. And again, even if it's not the way it was maybe a month ago when we had that lull and didn't have the demands on us, that's okay. Our mind will still react to that consistency and sticking with our plan and sticking with our programs and our working towards our goals. We'll still get that great feeling from that. And that will help us, again, with other tasks and even just getting back to maybe when things clear up on your schedule and you can get back to that original plan or another modified plan towards your goal. And then you can keep moving forward with that rather than, again, getting bogged down with work and either abandoning yourself altogether and then trying to get back on to the routine when things open up, which is quite a hill to climb, as most of you know, most of us know. Or you just abandon it altogether because you've missed so many days or weeks or months, depending on how busy you are. And if we miss a few days, a few weeks, again, chances are we're going to just extend that to kind of a permanent abandonment of our goal, which is never good. So again, it's work. It's a lot of work up front. But if we do the work now, again, we'll see those great results at the end of 2023. And that's what I want for everyone, just to have a wonderful 23 to get all these results and reach those goals that we've set for ourselves. And if you're just tuning in, remember, it's not too late. You can always join in and start thinking of your 2023, maybe reflect a bit on 22. How did it go? Did you have goals or resolutions set? Did you reach them? If not, think about that. What worked? What worked? What didn't work? What could you have done differently? And then take that and learn from it and apply to 2023 and make a plan and put the steps in place to help you reach toward whatever goal you set for yourself. And then create that, put those steps in place. Think of December 31st, 2023. That's sort of our end date. That's our goal accomplishment date. For the most part, you could set it earlier or a different one if you want, but thinking in terms of a resolution, again, we have the whole year. We have until December 31st. What can we do now to put things in place? Think of your goals, set up a system for that, make sure they're SMART goals, make sure you have good expectations that are healthy, manageable for you. Think of a theme word if you like, and you can go back and check out our previous episodes to talk about theme words and what my theme word is for 2023. Focus, theme word to help you stay on track and to keep things going forward. And then put those things in place. Again, we talked briefly about vision boards. We're hoping to have our pal Blake Miles on soon to chat vision boards with us. I know Natty's working on hers. And And again, just put these little steps in place so when January 1 hits, we're not scrambling, we're not rushing. Hey, what's your resolution? I'm going to work out more every day for the year. Well, that's probably not a realistic expectation or realistic goal. And you don't have a system in place. You don't have a plan. You don't have a gym membership. You don't have workout gear. You don't have a water bottle, whatever the case is. We want to have those steps in place. So let's do the work now. And the contingency plan is part of that. Thinking of those busy times of the year and those down times in the year when you can take advantage of it. You can plan for what's going to come up and take advantage of the time that's a little lighter and a little less demanding for you. And then again, we can set ourselves up for more success. Love Buddy says, I'm guilty of that. Yeah, we all are of working through that and kind of getting overwhelmed at time, and then we just abandon it. It happens to a lot of people. Like we said earlier, typically March 1st or so, if they even make it that far, most New Year's resolutions have been abandoned because life gets busy, things get in the way, and we don't have a plan to work around that. So we don't have a plan, then usually, like I said, our stuff gets put to the side. We're all guilty of that, putting others before ourselves. And then our goals and our objectives kind of go by the wayside, and then we don't get better. And that's what we want to do. We like to say ascend till the end here on PatFacts. We want to make ourselves get better every day until the very literal end of us. We always want to be getting better. So we want to make sure that we're always doing that. And this goal setting and putting this, again, work in place with the vision boards, with a contingency plan, with the goal setting, with looking at our expectations, with maybe getting a coach or a mentor or accountability buddy to help us through this. All this legwork now puts us in a great position to have good momentum going into January 1st and increases our chance of success with our goal in regards to December of 2023. So a year from now, tomorrow being the 1st, a year from now, we should have a good grasp on things and be pretty close to accomplishing our goal. Now, again, things are going to come up and things have to be maybe modified, but for the most part, we should have a pretty good voyage towards our goal. We should be pretty much most of the way there. If you don't get there, that's okay. But we want to work on it as much as we can and get there. And putting in the work now, again, can make a big difference down the road for you. So I'd love to hear from you. I see you guys in the chat. Yeah, Natty, sorry you didn't get a notification. I'm not sure why. I'm on Twitch itself, and it worked the first time to go through it. It broadcasts, so I'm not sure why you didn't get the notification there. But yeah, welcome everyone that's here. Love Bunny says we need to prioritize ourselves. Definitely, health number one. Hey, Gretchen, welcome in. Yeah, definitely with our health. Physical, mental, spiritual, we always need to make ourselves top priority. Typically we don't, as you've heard me say before. Usually we get pushed down the list, especially when other people need us, when in reality what we should do is put ourselves at the top always, and then we can better take care of those around us that need us at our best. We can't be our best if we're not taking the best care of ourselves that we can. So we want to make sure we're doing that. So making ourselves a priority is so important. So again, maybe that's what we work on. Maybe that's your goal for 23, is making yourself more of a priority. We still want to put those steps in place to work towards that. How can I make myself more of a priority? If I'm working towards being having more of a priority, okay, sorry, Gretchen. I got cut off. I guess you can't hear me, doesn't matter. I guess Instagram can't hear me. So I got cut off earlier, so that could be why. We'll see. Sorry, guys. We want to make sure that we're any better, Gretchen? I think it's cut off. I'll post it after, if not. So what we want to do is, yeah, thanks, Natty. Follow me on IG, but not right now. It's not working very well since my phone call came through. What we want to do, I'll just cut that one down. We'll post it for somewhere else after. Oops. What we want to do is, again, go through what it is we're working towards. And if making yourself a priority is your goal, then working towards that. What can I do? What usually comes up to prevent me from making myself a priority? What roadblocks come up? What obstacles do I have to deal with? What time of the year is it harder? Do I find I usually abandon maybe my goals or my plans to be a better me? And look at the past experiences again to learn from. What can I draw from? Okay, I know that in March, again, work's a busy time for me. Say it's end of fiscal year, I have reports done and finish off any programming and go through the budget and spend any finances that are left over and prep for the next year. It's always a tricky month, and I always suffer myself. I always put myself kind of last to get everything done. I'm working overtime, doing extra things. So what can I do this year, knowing it's now, again, tomorrow, December 1, what can I do to make sure that when March comes, I still make myself a priority? Maybe I modify my workouts so that I keep consistent with them, but I modify the plan. See, so many of us feel like we have to do, say, five times a week at the gym for an hour and a half. I have to do cardio, I have to do weights and this and that. It doesn't always have to be that way. We can modify, we can tweak, we can adjust. I have, again, some clients who, when I know it's a busy time for them, will just stick with a 10-minute stretch. Then they still get that mental kind of checkbox of, yep, I did my workout today. Good job, me. Pat on your back. That's 2 plugs, Bonnie, tonight. Pat on your back for going through. Again, our brain rewards us for that. We feel good about ourselves by completing, by staying consistent. But we modify what it is to meet the demands of what life is giving us. So we want to make sure that we're, hey, Gretchen, sorry about that Instagram. I got a phone call and Instagram kind of cut out and went wonky there. So thanks for letting me know. I didn't know people couldn't hear me. So sorry about that. Glad you switched over to Facebook. What we want to do is, again, plan for those things so that when something comes up, we can modify it. We can work around it. We can know that it's okay to change my routine as long as I stay on a routine. I can modify if we plan it ahead. Again, if we just react to it, like Love Bunny says, we're not going to prioritize ourselves. We're going to put everyone else before us. Whereas if we have a plan in place, we'll still kind of be a little easier to prioritize ourselves because there's one less thing to worry about. We won't get overwhelmed with how am I going to get my workouts in? How am I going to work towards my goal this week because I'm so busy with these things that have come up? Well, we know now we have a plan put in place for us, by us, so we're in control. We can control the controllables. We'll feel more at ease. We'll be more likely to stick with it. And we'll be more likely to keep moving forward and progressing as we work towards our goals. And again, we feel good about ourselves. And then when things clear up a little bit, demand-wise, then again, we go back to the way our schedule was, our routine was, our plan was. Or maybe we take that plan and this modified plan, maybe we make a new plan. You know what, if I take this part of this plan and this part of the original plan, maybe I get more progress toward my goal with less time. That would give me more time to do things with my family or work on this other thing or do something else that interests me. There's different ways to work around that, work through that if you want to. But again, it's putting plans in place in advance that will help you get through that. Right? Mm-hmm. Right. So we want to look at that and make sure that we're doing what we can. And again, a little bit of work now will make a big difference down the road as we work towards our goals. It's putting the work in. It's being a little more determined now and disciplined. That's what we're looking for. Now that will help us work again through 2023 and all the ups and the downs that are gonna be thrown at us. It's just not if, but when life is going to hand us something we have to deal with. We want to be able to be prepared for that and have those systems in place to help us stick towards our goal. That boy Jer, welcome in. Good to see you. Big fan. So again, I'd love to hear from you in the chat. What ideas you have for yourselves? What are you going to do as a contingency plan? What steps are you going to put in place to make sure? I think I mentioned this earlier and I got off on a little tangent there. But what are you going to do to have a backup plan, to have options? What are you going to do to make sure that you stay on track with your goals and your health and fitness or professional development, relationships, finances, whatever your goal is for 2023? Again, we need to have some contingency plans in place. If you look ahead and know what's coming up, know what roadblocks are going to be thrown at you, the things you know, again, we're better prepared for the ones we don't expect. And then we can better handle them. Increases our chances of sticking with it, increases our chances of succeeding, because we put the steps in place now up front. That's why we're starting this now, or back in October, when, if you've been with us when we started this. And again, if you weren't with us, that's okay. The best time to start, Peter Twist says, is now. Now is the best time to start. If you haven't started yet, start now. That's the best time. So go back, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter has past episodes. It's all the same handle, at POYBFit. You can look it up, find past episodes. If you're not sure, send me a DM. I can send you the links or get you to the right spot. Go back and watch some of those theme words, goal setting, expectation videos that we talked about, gratitude. Even we tie that into Thanksgiving, the two Thanksgivings really. We kind of went from one to almost the other, and talking about that and how that can help us stay on track with our goals and what it is we're working towards, and just how we feel. Better mindset, again, can help us have better success as well. That's right, Nadia, I am the head of the fan club. So again, put in the work a little bit up front. It's going to go a long way for us. Gretchen says, I plan to go into 2023 stronger and healthier by being consistent with my workouts and working on the nutrition too. Awesome. Great stuff. Gretchen, great goals, great ideas. And she mentions with the holidays, how do you stay consistent with your nutrition? Gretchen, for me, I try to just do kind of the 80-20 rule is what I call, and others do as well, but trying to do as good as I can 80% of the time with my nutrition, and then enjoying myself here and there when there's something to enjoy. If there's some treats, if there's a little get together, I go and try to enjoy myself, but I do my best to make the best choices possible. So if there are healthy snacks and treats, I try to at least have a bit of both, or maybe some healthy first and then some treats, so that I don't overdo it on the treats. Because I'm a treat guy. I like my chips and my treats and things at parties and gatherings. So I try to make sure, though, I go to the veggie tray or the fruit tray and grab some stuff from that as well. So that way, again, I don't overdo it on the sugars and the fats and things from those sweet treats. But then I still have some to be able to enjoy myself. And actually, that reminds me, I do have a holiday survival guide out. I know a couple of you have signed up already. I apologize, it hasn't gotten to you. It will be out to you by the end of this week for sure. I had a last little draft go in and had to do some edits and get some things set up. But if you're interested, if you go to my link in my bio on any platform, you click on the link. There's a holiday survival guide in my link tree. If you go on that, give me your email. I'll email you a free PDF about holiday survival guide. So we talk about nutrition, we talk about alcohol management, stress management, your fitness, all related to the holiday season. And I know we started kind of our Thanksgiving was October. Our friends in the US had Thanksgiving last week, and Christmas coming fast approaching, and Hanukkah and lots of other holidays and travel and things going on. So we talk about all that in the holiday guide. So again, send me a DM if you can't find my link. But if you go to my bio on any of the platforms, there should be a link tree in there, and just check it out. Again, shoot me an email or give me your email address, and I'll send you the PDF Holiday Survival Guide 2022 edition. But that's kind of the gist for my nutrition. I try to stay consistent with my other components of my life too, as much as I can. So I try to keep my fitness in check as much as I can. Again, maybe I modify things, but I try to stay as consistent as I can. Hydration, stress management, even all these things can play into your nutrition as well. So the more consistent we can keep everything, then again, the more consistent we can try to keep our nutrition. And if we enjoy ourselves a little bit, we don't beat ourselves up about it. We enjoy ourselves, we get back on that horse the next day, or when things clear up, and get back on track and back to our goals. We want to be able to have some fun and enjoy ourselves with that too. Great. Sorry, Gretchen, I missed that at first. I thought it was a statement more than a question. I misread it. So thanks for asking that. That was great. Checking her Twitch comments here. Nice. Jura says he's been hitting the gym as of the last month. That's awesome. Great to hear you. Thank you for the initial motivation. You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in and jumping on board and for giving yourself that motivation and that desire. I can give motivation and advice, but if you don't want to make the change, then it's not really going to happen. So good for you for taking that step and getting there and getting that head start, because January 1, those gyms will be busy. Don't leave though. Work through it. Give it time. People unfortunately won't stick with it. They won't have that plan. They'll be there because it's trendy. It's a thing to do. January 1, I'm going to the gym. I'm going to be healthy this year. And then again, February, March, they'll kind of pan out. So weather that storm. It's going to be frustrating, maybe tricky to maybe work out and do things, but don't give up. Again, modify if you need to, do what you can. And then as that rush dies down, get back into that routine of what you're doing. So, but again, awesome. That's great to hear, Jer, that you're doing that and have that head start on people and have that head start for yourself. So awesome. Good for you. I'm glad I could help. Yes, that's right, Jer. Give yourself a pat on your back. Nice one, Nats. Good plug there. That was good. So that's it for tonight, guys. Again, I just thought contingency plan is an important part of our planning for 2023 and our success for 2023. What I'd like to do, I was hoping this year, but it just didn't work out. What I wanted to do for next year actually is make this kind of series almost that we've been talking about lately a bit of a workshop. Again, hopefully, potentially with Blake, where we do something together, but have a resolution kind of setting workshop or goal setting workshop where we look at all these components, but in much deeper facet of each thing and help you go through the goal setting, the expectations, the theme words, the vision boards, the contingency plans. We can actually work together and develop them together. That's sort of where I see sort of some of these topics going as we go into the future. And again, I was thinking of this year, but logistically it just didn't work out. So hopefully for next year, at least myself and potentially Blake will be bringing you a bit of a program there to help you really dive deep into these things. If you want to dive deep this year and aren't sure where to go, maybe you're stuck, again, maybe it's time to hire a coach, reach out. We can look at some online wellness coaching to get you going through and getting things set up now so that, again, we can have that great 2023. Bonnie says, thanks, Bonnie. Have a great weekend as well. Or a great evening, sorry. Bonnie says, I love writing in an agenda. Works for me. Walk, exercise, fresh air, and remove them as done. Awesome. So having that agenda, that's what my mom does that with her agenda. She puts them in as appointments. Her to-do list basically is almost like her appointment book. And then as she does the things through the day, at such and such a time, she goes for the walk. At such and such a time, she exercises or she does this. She crosses them off her list. So it's like a to-do list and an agenda kind of merged together. That's awesome, Bonnie. That's great that you found that system that works for you. And then again, if we put them in as appointments, we're kind of a little more likely to stick with them because we booked them in, we blocked that time off for it. So that's a great tip, Bonnie. Thank you for sharing that. Thanks, Gretchen, for being here. Have a great evening as well. So that's it for tonight, guys. Again, reach out if you want to dive a little deeper, if you want to get into that coaching, that virtual fitness side of things, fitness and wellness. That's what I'm looking to specialize in. Those of you that just need that little extra help of getting the workouts and the wellness kind of on track and getting things set up for 2023, feel free to reach out. Makes a great Christmas gift if you're looking for that hard to shop for person. Maybe they could benefit from health and wellness coaching. But if you just need certain questions, or again, if there's something else you're working towards that is beyond kind of what I maybe offer, I do have people I can refer you to as well. So Twitch, stick around. We're going to raid into Disco Mini. Hopefully you can stick around for that. Again, everyone, thanks so much for being here. Awesome. Yeah, Gretchen says she did that with the agenda until the workouts became part of her day. Awesome. Yeah, eventually we want this to become habitual. So it just is there for us to do every day. Remember, everybody, always make yourself the priority you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Stay safe. Take care. Have a great night.